feel like I'm drunk. I'm really sleep.
Like we just have a target, do it, go for next.
Look, I knew that you would do a show with you because it's not, doesn't fit your mindset, huh?
Thank you, man. Rasta, excellent, man. I see you on LinkedIn, man. Rasta posting excellent stuff.
Where are you?
Mobile. Salam Mobile. Both. I hate you in front of the camera. Let me build up the courage. Let me think about feeling. Let me have a quick thing. I'm going to build up the courage. I see you guys are posting on the we'll come by and pick up.
this with you in case I advise.
Even a bit tight.
We cannot have it without you, my friend. And I've just been.
I was like, I didn't want to mention it. I said, Rashid
No, I
didn't
was
invite
going-
me this year.
Just a little bit
To the left, all right.
Yes, and a bit forward.
Bit forward, okay.
Even with your chair.
Okay, with the chair. Good.
Good. Please can you give me the name?
Yeah. Rodolphe Sarah.
It's,
This is the name.
Okay.
I want my picture like this, man. Podcast with Rashid. Podcast with Rashid.
Okay. So, man, I will just welcoming the audience first, like last time, and then we say, okay, we have a special guest, Rodolphe Sarah, like the director for cloud business within the CEMEA region. Okay.
There you go.
And the cloud, maybe you introduce yourself to just quickly and say, okay, the state of the art. There is this market's cloud. We have hyperscalers, we have
Yeah.
local service provider. What's you've seen this and you are the,
All right.
then we can go through that.
Okay.
Man,
Conversation.
I'm not worried with you, huh?
I'm worried I keep to the 10 minutes. That's my problem.
No. Just one thing, just try to pause so that we can have a dialogue. Otherwise,
All
it
right.
will be like a monologue.
And I look at you or look at the camera?
No, when we talk to each other, we'll look like this.
Okay.
At the end, I will ask you to add something for the cloud practitioners around the globe. You just look at them there.
All right. You got it.
Yeah.
Just preparing his name and
Amazing.
so VCPP.
It's now cloud. What is it? Cloud provider. Cloud service providers. It's Director Cloud Service Providers. So it's CSP now, the new name.
Services,
Cloud services. Cloud service providers.
I'm having it. You have it online, okay?
There you go.
And RUDOLF, right?
RUDOLF.
Okay. Sarah, SARAH.
Yes, sir. Let me grab some water just in
Yeah, of
case.
course, plus this is in it.
Just in case. All right.
This is mine or
لو انت فتحت yes.
Alrighty.
and maybe we can, as I told you, just add the dimension that, how is AI is going to impact the cloud consumption and adoption in this region, no?
Absolutely.
Okay, and maybe, I don't know, maybe we already discussed the private AI and how this will fit into this. Is it going to be a new workload? I don't
I'm
know.
going to attach it private to sovereign AI.
Yeah,
for us.
exactly. Yeah.
So that's it. Same message, but sovereign providers.
الموtion of the state of cloud adaptation in the region, right?
The state of cloud adoption in the region. Yes.
All right. Middle East or South? I'll mention a few things on South. All right.
Yeah, give us perspective and then tell us, because you are wider region. So
Yeah.
tell us in the region here what
Okay.
you see. Give us also reflection what happens in Europe.
And it'll change since what we said last year also. For those who follow the podcast year on year.
Yes.
Okay.
Give us the green light, countdown.
It's recorded whenever you want.
Yeah. Okay. So. Welcome to the show. I'm your host Rashid Al-Umari, and we are broadcasting live from Dubai at GITEX 2023. This is day number 4 with GITEX, day number 4 with Podcast with Rashid. Today we have a lineup of seasoned experts that actually come from abroad to be with you today and to share their experiences and their insights about what's happening in the market. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest, Rodolphe Sarah, who's our Director for Cloud Services Providers at the CEMEA region. So, Rodolphe, welcome to the show.
Rashid, thank you very much for having me on the show. Pleasure to be with all of you.
So, Rodolphe, you remember we've been here last year in GITEX and also different forums around the globe and at different podcast editions. For the audience, can you just tell us Rodolphe and his mission within VMware? Who's Rodolphe and what's your mission?
So I lead the cloud provider business for South Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Basically, our mission is to build the partner ecosystem that deliver our solutions through the cloud. And that ranges from the local providers, the big regional players like the Rackspace, the IBMs, and the OVHs, the large telcos, and the hyperscalers. And that is a portfolio of partners that complements the on-prem solutions that our customers currently have. So that's our way for VMware of delivering cross-cloud, hybrid cloud, and essentially a true cloud experience for the customers.
Good. So we need to get the pulse, and I think there is no one better than you just to give us the pulse with the state of the cloud today. We know that the market is they have crowded with, we have the hyperscalers, we have the private providers, we have the service providers, we have the sovereign cloud. So can you give us first the state of the cloud at the, the wider region and then also to the Middle East region?
So if you remember last year when we were together, we were happy to announce our first sovereign provider.
Yes.
A year later, in the South EMEA region, we will very recently announce our 10th sovereign cloud provider. Wow. So we are covering now 10 different countries with 10 providers. Wow. Adoption has been exquisite, I would say, through the roof with what customers take on the sovereign cloud. Our numbers keep on increasing. I can't share the exact numbers, but we've over 10x that revenue. On the service provider side, growth is actually still accelerating. We were very surprised in the Middle East when growth was very steady. It keeps on accelerating. And it's very likely fueled by the transition that we have. Potentially AI workloads now, the fact that cloud has really matured to a point that it sits par on par with an on-prem solution, and the fact that our service providers have, in their vast majority, adopted VCF or VCF-like, so vCloud Foundation-like solutions, and that enables them to transact in the easiest possible way with customers who have virtual machines on premises. So now we can truly deliver across the region what we call the cross-cloud or the hybrid cloud.
So Rodolphe, there is now a dimension. So and let's start from what Jitex's, let's say, slogan is all about. Imagine AI everywhere. Okay. Now with that in mind, definitely everybody, all organizations that we've been working with, or even though we are dealing with, they are actually looking to say how they can harness the power of AI, exploring, experimenting, even though start having piloting some of these AI capabilities into their products and services. So how we can see the impact of this in the cloud services in the region?
So actually quite a few years ago already, our top providers have already opened the AI discussion with us. And we've been working on it pretty much under the radar for quite a few years. And what you see blossoming now, what you see the first AI offerings, especially in the Middle East, we have now 7 partners who have dedicated AI compute nodes, and that number will probably double in the next 6 months and will keep on doubling very rapidly, is the result of a strategic investment from the partners. They understand that in advance, we guided their approach towards AI, and the fact that AI exploded on the scene thanks to ChatGPT, and the fact that now every enterprise wants AI, well, you have the choice. You can build your private AI on-prem. It's no different than a private cloud. It's going to take you 6 months, 7 months, maybe a year to build it. Or you can go around to one of the sovereign service providers that we have, or one of the service providers that we have in country that offers compute for AI.
Okay. And this is really, you raise a good point, because we announced 2 months back in Vegas in our Explore flagship event, the private AI. And when I wanted to put it in the context of sovereignty, so you have sovereignty, you have a private AI, as well you have the public. So how really, in the lens of the expert, you can get that choice to the customers, to the government, really to consume these services?
That's a perfect question, and we get it all the time from our customers of, I want to do AI, but the data is very critical. Where shall I actually position the data? And our answer is super simple, few words. Sovereign is the new private.
Okay.
Meaning what we built with a sovereign provider is the same level of regulatory compliance and security that you can have on premises. So if your data is really critical, if by regulation it cannot go outside the country or cannot be in the hands of a foreign entity, go with a sovereign provider. If you have the capabilities to do it on-prem, do it on-prem. If you want to do it across on-premise and the cloud, being hybrid or cross-cloud, our technology enables that, right? We are fully compatible. The service providers of VMware are fully compatible with the on-prem environment and vice versa. And if you want to run AI on a hyperscaler using even native technologies, we have other management tools that help you do that. The question is not who is better or who is worse. The question is, where should the data go? And VMware, we're very proud to be one of the very few companies out there that give you absolute choice. From hyperscale all the way to on-premise, and with sovereign cloud in the middle, which is a unique proposition in the market today.
So with that mix, can you explain the role of the hyperscaler, especially when it comes to the sovereignty as well? How they play on this in this notion?
We have to define sovereignty. Now we enter a bit into the legal argument. There are two main pillars in the discussion, and we touched base on that last year for those who can rewind the old podcast. There is data residency, meaning your data is in the country. And there is data sovereignty, which means your data is in the country and only complies to the local laws and regulation. And here's a bit the difference between what a hyperscaler can do, because they operate the environment inside the country, but they still comply with some of the international laws, Cloud Act being the most famous one, but there is many other ones, and data sovereignty. From a functionality perspective, these are going to be the same outcomes technologically. From a regulatory perspective, these are different outcomes. We are here to guide the customers, to help them assess their data, make them do the best choice. We are agnostic. At the end of the day, we deliver VMware on top of hyperscale, sovereign, local providers, big telcos, on-premise, on the moon if it's required. So, beauty of the solution, we don't block any movement. We don't force into any particular motion. What we say is the right data in the right place at the right time with the adequate controls.
So, Rodolphe, I just want to be on the lens of, let's say, or the shoes of the other side. I am an investor, and I I see this big potential. Is there still there is a market for additional, let's say, service provider cloud AI in the region? Because I know they are knocking your door. What's your deal with that?
The answer is a big resounding yes. AI is a fundamental shift, not just in compute, it's a fundamental shift in the way we're going to transact. It's as fundamental as what e-business and e-commerce was at some time. It's just one of those technical revolutions. It's going to reshuffle the cards. There's going to be the players who make the right investment, the right bets, and use the tool the right way, and they're going to grow. There's going to be the new players that's going to come in that we didn't even know existed, and I already see a few new companies that step on the door and say, I'm going to be dedicated for AI. And there's going to be the legacy players that maybe are going to miss the boat. And that happens in the IT industry. It's one of the industries with the biggest amount of companies that miss. And 5 years down the road, they go bankrupt. So AI is here. It's one of those market disruptors. It needs your full attention as a customer. It needs your full attention as a service provider. It needs our full attention as a vendor to make sure that we collectively make the right bets. And yes, if I had money to put at the moment, without advising on any stocks, invest a little bit in AI for sure.
Yeah. So, definitely, because you're also taking care of for the service provider, not just only in commercial, but you are helping them in overcoming whatever challenges possible within the capacity of your organization. So, can you tell us key? Because life is not rosy everywhere. There are some bumps here and there. So, what are the key challenges that the service providers are facing in delivering DC cloud services and potentially the AI capabilities in the future?
I think that the key difficulty that a service provider will face is a self-inflicted wound. What I call the self-inflicted wound is when the SP, service provider, spends too much time trying to figure out which combination of technology is right for them. What is right for them is what is right for the market. So when we work with a partner like VMware, roughly 70% market share in virtualization worldwide, you're in the right place. So we have recommended architectures that we custom tailor for every partner, and we help them design their service catalog to address the market, and that gets them in very rapidly. The partners who are now facing difficulty, because the rate of technical innovation in VMware also is accelerating, are those who had Frankenstein solutions, like too many vendors, too many integration points. And when they want to start moving, they say, well, I can't move because this component blocks me, or I can't do it. And we say, this is the beauty of VMware Cloud Foundation. It is a foundation. Use the foundation, keep it intact, build around it or on top of it, but don't undo. This is no longer the cloud of the 1990s. It is no longer the cloud of the 2000s. The market is moving in one particular direction. You need to have the back of a vendor that actually is developing. if you look at VMware R&D investment and the new R&D investment that will come post-acquisition, this is going to be a real locomotive for the digital transformation of customers, service providers, and governments alike.
So if I want to decode, like your story into how to accelerate this kind of adoption, what you are saying, Mr. Customer, you already have, like on-prem, the vCloud Foundation or the foundation for the cloud, which is we call it vCloud Foundation. Now, if you need to get the capabilities of the AI, there is already hyperscalers, local service provider, you have sovereign government clouds that they have the same stack. So you can use that as a bridge to get all these resources needed. And if you need to have any additional AI capabilities that exist within the platform or adjacent services from that can enrich more what you have. Is my statement correct?
Your understanding is perfect. And there is one final key point in all of this. Reversibility.
Okay.
We are the only provider that delivers a compatible stack on the cloud and on-premise, one-to-one feature match, meaning you can move some workloads to the cloud, you can move them back, and vice versa. Reversibility is the name of the game when you want to transition to the cloud, because you need to be able to go back. Regulation changes, technology changes, your data is going to change. You might acquire a company that tomorrow is regulated and you realize, oops, I was 100% cloud, I need to now be 50-50. Which vendor can take you on that path with the minimum friction, minimum migration, minimum replatforming, minimum retraining? There's one. That's VMware.
And you are also compliant with whatever, HIPAA requirements, with the BSS requirements, just name it. There are the lists are huge.
So combined, I will tell you, combined, our service providers have more than 180 different government certification.
Okay.
So there is not a region, a government, a country, a city, an industry where we don't have a partner. There's an ecosystem of 4,000 partners that didn't get the right certification, and we work with them on that architecture. So when another partner comes along and says, well, I'd like something that is HIPAA compliant because I need to transact healthcare data in the US. Say, okay, we know how to do that. This is the solutions. These are the points you need to watch for. We've done it here in the Middle East. We work with governments. Governments have built their cloud using VMware. Some of them are government service providers to the government.
Yes.
Some of them are government-owned service providers. They all comply to the local regulation. I mean, TDRA, the example we mentioned last year, is doing excessively well, and we're very happy of our partnership together, and we're taking it to the next level. COP28 is around the corner. So let's take a step out of the regulation environment. What about carbon and carbon reduction?
Sure.
We'll announce in COP28 with some of our partners the carbon emission reduction numbers that we are achieving thanks to cloud, especially for government entities. You'll be surprised. Watch this space in December.
Okay, so stay tuned for our listeners and the viewers. Okay, so Rodolphe, look, I want you to address, let's say, something to, the partners who are delivering the services, as well the customers who enterprises, they are still, making decisions around how to consume the cloud services, and with all the choices that they have in mind, there is cost element, security element, governance element, sovereignty element. So to simplify this to them and just to give them a practical advice from an expert, from the leader of that space, what you're going to address this?
So it's probably one of the most structuring and complicated decisions that a CIO has to take when he's considering his move to cloud. A lot of the attention is focused on moving to the cloud, and not enough of the attention is focused on how the move happens and what happens if the move is not successful. VMware's approach is very simple. The move to cloud is a data center move. Same features, same technology, same portfolio. It's also a reversible move. Anything goes wrong, anything changes, regulatory environment, technical environment, commercial environment, you can roll back. The message of the hybrid cloud is the cloud is an extension of your data center, and that's what we want to maintain. Mm-hmm. Same performance metrics, same management tools, same expertise, same application certification. Moving to the cloud does not need to be rip and replace. Moving to the cloud does not need to be a technological shift. Moving to the cloud is a business-driven decision. It's how you distribute your application and your data. Our role as VMware is to maintain a consistency of your environment anywhere it's going to run. That's the core of the promise.
Okay. So thank you, really, Rodolphe, for enlightening us, sharing this insight. What to expect from the service provider moving forward?
You can expect a lot of innovation, a lot of new announcements. I'm expecting a lot of new programs post-acquisition. We're going to really double down on this ecosystem. It has been excessively successful, and we're going to take it to the next level. So I'm just going to say, without revealing anything, watch this space and
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for next year. We'll do a checkup.
Okay, thank you, Rodolphe, for being with us. Really appreciate it.
Rashid,
For
pleasure.
our listeners and the viewers, thank you. Like Rodolphe just really summarized for us what I call it the state of union when it comes to the cloud service providers, like in the region. Definitely, it's a promising. Investments are there, services are increasing. The AI will add a different dimension to capabilities to the country, as well to the service provider, an option and choice for customers to try to consume this in a fashion which is meaningful for them, protecting their data, their assets in a sovereign way, and they give them the flexibility and they give them the choice. So thank you for being with us in this session. Stay tuned. In a couple of minutes, we're going to be having a great guest as well, just to share their insights and to tell you certain experiences in their domains as well in their specific region. Stay tuned. I will be back soon.